What's up, everybody? It's Esoteric Nomad. I just did a recording, but it was interrupted by got some good news coming in actually, so that's cool. But I'm still very new to this editing thing, so it was like two parts, and I haven't quite figured out how to splice them together. So I'm just like, forget it. I'll just record the thing over again. It'll be as however long as it needs to be. I was discussing. First of all, I want to say, let's address the elephant in the room. How's everybody feeling? Go ahead, get it out. I'm trying to hold space for what everyone is feeling, and I mean everyone. If you are elated right now, this is part of your experience. If you are feeling like this is the worst day of your life, this is part of your experience. Regardless of what you're feeling, this is part of your experience, and I'm here to say I don't judge you for whatever you're choosing to believe in. I don't. I think what's really cool about when we start to evolve in our spiritual and individual journeys is we really start to realize the duality of things. And I have many episodes that I've released on duality specifically. I just put one out. It's called Two Sides of the Same Coin. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. And then one before that, which I didn't realize I had been putting out this content as much until I looked back on it, and I was like, holy shit, yeah, my guides have really been pushing me to talk about duality. The one before that is called Duality as a Social Agenda. And, here I am talking about duality again, because I think it's important to revisit topics as things are happening, because it helps connect things in our minds, because sometimes we hear about a topic or something and we don't necessarily connect it to a certain event taking place, and therefore we can lose sight of what's really happening. And so I thought it important to discuss really briefly that this is just another case of duality happening, and for there not to be any fear, that we're each having the experience that we're meant to. We're all here as souls. First of all, everybody here on earth right now is a badass because we all chose to come here. And as we all know, it is difficult. Yes, we don't have to choose for it to be difficult. This is debatable to me. I know everything's a choice. However, for a lot of us, navigating these human emotions, it can feel difficult at times. And so in that, just have grace and compassion for everyone. And I know it's hard, but you got to realize right now that what's happening in the collective is necessary. Now, we all were children once. We all were children and wanted things that we thought were fine, and on their own, they were fine. However, as becoming adults, we realized that we needed that moderation. We realized that we needed those times when we didn't get our way. We realized that we needed those things that we didn't necessarily feel like were the best for us at that time, but it turns out they taught us a lesson that was necessary. We can, as adults, a lot of us, because not all of us, unfortunately, but a lot of us can see the connectivity between events and, everything transpiring, and how it's important and how it's all connected. And so for a lot of people who might be feeling devastated today and might be feeling heartbroken and in their feels and embodying a lot of that fear and a lot of that feeling for the collective, first of all, you might just really be in tune, or you might be too plugged into everything that's happening. And I implore you to unplug. Treat your self-care as real. We, as a society, we've gotten into this habit of self-care and mindfulness. Let's practice this, people. Let us practice this. We have a choice what we tune into. We have a choice what we engage in. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to have conversations and dialogues that you are not ready to have, that make you uncomfortable. Because I'm not here to say that you should or shouldn't be at a certain point in your spiritual journey. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I recognize that we're all at different points, and that we have to recognize that and get out of our ego, get out of, I feel this person is right or wrong. Everybody is going through what they're meant to go through. And I could understand that if you're not, I say there's different facets of spirituality, because there is, just like there's just different facets of Christianity, different facets of Catholicism, different facets of everything. There's going to be extreme ends of it, and there's going to be, not so extreme ends of it, very traditional, ends of it. We are all going through what we're meant to go through. And this is the type of spirituality I am involved in. I realize that there is an interconnectivity to everything. I don't know if that's the word, but we are all connected, and that we are all meant to go through exactly what we're meant to go through, very specific and unique to what our soul was meant to learn in this lifetime. So before you point fingers at people, before you get mad at people, now, yes, we all have a choice who we associate with. I'm not saying you got to hug everybody that you don't want to hug. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying choose to engage or not to engage, but don't make it a Don't feed into the fear. Don't feed into the negative hate rhetoric. Don't feed into all the ego. Like, the ego is having a field day today. Like, I barely opened my eyes and, did my little prayer for the morning, got on social media and was like, holy shit. Some of the spiritual groups I follow are rampant with people losing their minds. And that was shocking to me. That was something I had to integrate, because I guess I had it in my mind that if you're at a certain point of understanding spirituality, then you really get that this is necessary right now. Now, I'm not going to speak on what I believe or don't believe in. I am a very neutral person in general because I understand duality. And it's really hard to say, like, it can be hard at times to say this is right or this is wrong when I understand the necessity of right and wrong, quote, right or wrong. What is right and what is wrong? It's all a choice. It's all something that's supposed to happen, and I can choose if I get a lesson out of it. I can choose how I engage. I can choose how I present myself. It's all a process that gets us to evolve. And we're all in that process individually. Some of us will have similar experiences, and that's why a lot of us can bond over things. But a lot of us aren't having those similar experiences, and it can feel lonely for a lot of people right now. And what I'm saying is, like, we've all gone through hardship before. All of us. Now, I don't know if everybody's gone through that hardship and been able to look back on it and be like, well, I can see how if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't be in this space. I bring up this example to shed light on the fact that just because something is happening that many people may not want to happen, that many people might be in their feels about, I get it. On each side of the campaign, each person is talking about different things that, might have ruffled your feathers. And even if you agreed with a lot of one person in the campaign, you might have disagreed with other things that they said. That's an example of duality right there. Nobody is going to be all perfect or all bad. I know that's hard to grasp, especially when what's presented to us is a certain image. And the media plays a hand in this also. You have to be mindful. The media is showing you certain things on purpose. This is why it's important to tune into our intuition, into our gut, anchor into your truth. This is why I tell people, like, I completely understand if you are the farthest thing from spiritual, if you consider yourself an atheist, if you consider yourself a Satanist, whatever you consider yourself, because I've been down all of those roads. I've been down all of them. And I got back to where I am now. No matter what you believe in, you were meant to have this experience. And we all chose to be here. I'm circling back around to we all chose to be here to learn individual things on this journey. What's to say that someone doesn't need to experience something so later on they have reference for something else they're going through, that they can use what they're experiencing right now as that aha moment? You know what I mean? We can't speak on what gets people to where they need to be, quote, need to be. And where they need to be is where they need to be. We cannot speak on what other people need or should be doing. Now, we can choose who we associate with. We can choose who feeds our soul. We can choose, our tribe, so to speak. But we don't need to. The ego is just having a field day today. And it breaks my heart. It really does. Because I want to hug everybody. I want to hug everybody that's freaking the fuck out. Because it wasn't so many years ago that I was in the same boat. And I was like, oh my God, this is like, I had my little victories and my celebrations, and I had my mourning and my grief and all of that. Feel your emotions. I'm not saying your emotions aren't valid. It is important to feel everything that you're feeling. I am just saying that it's not always going to be the way that we want things to be, and that's okay. And I will touch briefly again on our thoughts create our reality. They do. And I think a lot of people don't really grasp that. So everything that you're saying on social media right now, the conversations, please choose your words carefully. And I know you may think, well, that takes a lot of effort. That's a lot. I don't want to. When you start to realize, if you're really understanding that your thoughts and your words do actually, it creates your reality. What that means is what we say, we will attract. It's real. That's why when people start going to therapy and talking about things and getting it out and having that healing, their lives start to change because they're processing it. You're learning a new dialogue on how to handle things. That's why it's important to really be mindful of what we're saying. And I know it can be frustrating because it's like, oh, I don't want to be so mindful to, like, I don't got time to pick my words. I promise you, if you knew how much your words were affecting your reality, you would take all the time in the world to be careful and mindful of how you are expressing yourself. It's crucial. Now, you do whatever you want to do. I am just saying this because I do believe I was guided to, and that it could help somebody. Ultimately, you're going to do whatever you want to do, and that is your journey. And I'm not here to, tell you to do anything. I'm saying all of this to maybe shed light and help certain people who might be struggling right now. Like I've always been a love and compassion for all type of person. I haven't always been able to present that in all the best ways. I know I haven't. I'm not saying that this has always been easy for me, because it absolutely has not. I am just saying, with the understanding that I have now, that it's easier to see what's happening. And when you know what's happening, it's easier to disengage from the BS. Like I know in Denver, woke up today to snow for the first time in the season. It's post-election day. It's one of them days where it's like the sunshine's not out. It can be easy to get into the feels. And like I said, I know that for people who maybe aren't used to practicing mindfulness and trying to direct their thoughts with intention, this can be especially hard. And I'm not here to speak down on you and to say like you should or shouldn't be doing this, or to speak negatively on you if you are struggling to do this. I am just here to encourage you to continue trying. Continue trying. Because it's going to take effort. Nothing is going to be fixed overnight. I believe that there will be a day in society when we are just able to naturally exude these things, and it'll be easy and second nature. But for now, we are going to have to make an effort, and that's okay. It's through the effort. It's through the process. Like I saw a post the other day, and it's like, it's easy to lose sight that we have to go through a process in order to get where we need to be. And that can be hard because the process can be painful, right? The process can feel like we're getting our rights stripped away, or the process can feel like this is going to change and it's going to ruin everything. The process can feel like, oh my God, the people closest to me actually don't agree with me. Like the process is messy. It's intended to be that way. I feel like the most growth happens when things are just disheveled. And I promise you, I'm struggling with this myself, because I've had talks with God and my guides, and like, well, why is it so necessary for things to be so fucked up sometimes? Like, why? Do y'all know how dense it is down here? Like, it is rough out here in these streets at times. I get it, but that's part of my journey. Like, it's a root thing. Like, once you start to get a really good understanding on how everything is happening for its own individual reason that you may or may not be aware of, and how you just have to accept that. Accepting that things are going to happen, and it is for your highest good, no matter what it looks like. We think when we become adults that suddenly we really have all the control. We do and we don't. We do and we don't. We're no longer children, so yes, we feel like we have more control. And yes, we do have control over certain things, absolutely. But I'm just saying that, like, I have so many thoughts pouring through me right now. Y'all are gonna have to bear with me. It's a lot happening in the collective. We have to really, just above all else, ground in love. And I know that might sound cheesy, and you might be like, what the fuck? All this love, all this, It's necessary. You don't have to like it, but it's necessary. If you choose to be miserable, just be aware that you are making that choice. And I'm not saying that, like, if I want to be, it all is a choice. And I know that's not the easiest thing to accept. But we all know that, like, just because things are projected or said to be a certain way does not always mean it is going to pan out that way. People make a lot of promises. People say a lot of things. Actions are louder than words. So just because something has happened that might seem a certain way to a lot of people does not mean that it is going to indeed turn out that way. And for my real spiritual people, and I say real because maybe that's not the best choice of words, for people out there who have had those experiences and who have, like, otherworldly experiences and have seen beyond the veil, in a sense, that it is all love on the other side, and that we are protected, and that we are safe, and we are all loved. So to be down here fighting over something so 3D, yes, it's our country, yes, it's huge in the sense of the Matrix, but we all die at the end of this, so fuck them. That's what I said in a previous podcast. It was a TikTok I saw. We all die at the end of this, people. This is only an experience. This is only a moment. I really do wish that everybody could have an experience where they were taken to the other side in a dream or whatever, and were shown the temporary nature of all of this. And that helps. It doesn't make it better, because I've had these experiences And it has helped me feel less stuck in this 3D physical reality. Yes, I am still in it because I chose to have this human experience, but there is more to it than that. There was far more to it than that. You are safe, you are loved, you are protected. Your thoughts will create your reality. Be mindful of what you are speaking over others. Be mindful over what you're speaking over your own life. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. If we could all just focus on ourselves right now, focus on yourself, because those are the things that really make the most change. Don't worry about how. When you focus on yourself, you make yourself better. Therefore, you raise your vibration, which in turn will raise the vibration around those around you, which will set off a chain reaction. Focusing on what everyone else is doing right now is not going to be beneficial. It's only going to create division, which is what the Matrix wants. The Matrix wants us to fight and argue and to separate. We're supposed to come together. This is all just a game anyway, people. It's what was that? Not Dallas Buyers Club, but the Wolf of Wall Street. He's like not Sean Connery, Jesus, Matthew McConaughey. He's like, it's a woozle, it's a wazzle, it's fairy dust. It's pretend. It's a moment in time. This is not all there is to it. Breathe and focus on ourselves today. Take some time, unplug from the Matrix. It's gonna be okay. I hope this helps somebody out there. I'm down to have conversations with people respectfully, of course. I'm not here to be, on some asshole bullshit. I'm not. Take care of yourself today. All right? Namaste.